gentlemen, it's been a while, hasn't it? I'm trying a little something new with the audio here. Hopefully it'll work a little better. As you can see, we have a big long line of contraptions here. Only one of them works though, but hopefully we can rectify that problem. So that is a Heathkit H19. It's a terminal. This is a Zenith Z19. It actually works. I bought that one on eBay a long time ago, and I've never had a bit of trouble with it. It's exactly the same thing as the H19. It was just made in a factory instead of built like a kit, from a kit like the Heathkit stuff was. Otherwise, they're identical. But I've never been able to get any high voltage on the CRT on that one. The terminal board works. It beeps when you power it up. But I can't get any flyback out of it, which I probably can't fix, but unless it's something else. But we'll see. And then this is the newest acquisition. This is the $100 Z89. So this is basically a Z19 terminal with an H8 compatible computer also inside of it. Most of them have a single double height disk drive right here. This one has a double density controller and an external disk drive port in the back. But I didn't get the disk drive enclosure with it, but that's fine. We'll use double density half height drives anyway. But there's still no cage in there, so we'll either have to still use external disks or make a cage. I don't know which, we'll see. But in any case, I don't get any... I'm making myself unfocused there. I don't get any AC on this one, so that's a problem too. The way that you open these is interesting. Let's see, this is unplugged. Yes, very good. So on each side of these machines, there's a little latch right here, and there's a low place in that latch, and you have to just stick a screwdriver or something into that low place and push it forward, and that unlatches this top part here. And there's one on the other side too, so you're supposed to do this with the thing sitting flat on the desk. I'm going to turn it around this way, facing away from me, and release both of these latches. You have to kind of keep a little bit of upwards pressure on it to keep it from relatching after you do the one side. And then the top folds off like a car hood, and the hinges in the back, once you fold it back far enough, the whole thing will lift out of there and come off. Now this thing has a fan in it, which I will have to unhook. Sorry, I can't get that on the camera. It's just too big, and my camera's zoomed all the way out. I had to unplug that fan. The Z19 and the H19 don't have a fan in them. So here's the Z89. You can see it's got a lot more going on inside of it. It's got two boards back here versus one in the standalone terminal. The power supply is beefier, and it's got these two expansion card cages. So it'll take a total of I guess 6 expansion cards. It's got 3 in it. We'll look at them later once we get the thing going. Here's the H19. Same thing, but simpler. It's the same terminal board. It should be the same terminal board between both of them. You've probably seen this one on previous videos, although I had the H19 faceplate on it for a while just because Heathkit is like cooler than Zenith, right? But I put them back how they were supposed to be for the filming. As you can see, this one just works. I can put it into offline mode. I can type shit, put it back in online mode, and it works on the serial port. I've had it hooked up to a Linux box many times in the past, and you've seen it hooked to the H8, and I think yes, some packet radio shit and all kinds of stuff. But the CRT is pretty good on this one. It's pretty crisp, despite being a white CRT. Just in the corners, it's a little bit blurry, but it's not too bad. So hopefully we don't have to harvest any parts from this one because it works, right? Now here's the the Z89, and I've got that cooling fan unplugged, but it's a 120 volt AC case fan. So when we turn the power on, we should get 120 volts on that fan. The fan should run even if nothing else is working. So that tells me that we've got no AC. I don't hear any beeps. There should be two beeps on this one when the terminal board initializes and another one when the CPU board initializes. And then finally, I've got my headset on trying to get better audio for you guys, and it won't stretch all the way over here, but finally we've got the H19, and I can't get any video on it. So, you did hear it beep though, so the terminal board is initializing. I can't say that I'm like a CRT expert or anything like that, so I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants like I always do, but I don't see the filament glowing on that tube. If we turn on the Z19 here, you can see the filament go in it, but there's no filament on this one, and there's obviously no static on the front, no high voltage on the anode. I think the first order of business is to figure out why there's no AC on this. Well, gentlemen, I think I see what the problem is. The fuse holder, the inside of the fuse holder is missing. Let's just borrow this out of the Z19 and maybe that'll fix everything. The power is off, yes, okay. That doesn't want to start. This fuse holder is different than these two. That's a pain in the ass. Well, it looks like if you take this screw out, this whole unit comes out, and then there are probably some wires we have to unplug. I can probably just switch these units. Let me do that. Oh Lord, that was a pain in the ass. So the TLDR is I opened up the H19 that we couldn't get any picture on, and I borrowed the fuse holder out of it. I desoldered this one. Now see, that thing came out of that H19 all nice and fine, big long wires out on the desk where you could get to it, but this little bastard, it won't come out any further than this, so it was kind of a pain in the ass to solder in there. So I'm going to fasten this thing back up in here like it's supposed to be, and then I guess we'll YOLO and try to power the bastard up. I plugged it in and nothing caught on fire. In a sane world, we'd probably disconnect everything from the power supply and test the power supply, but oh, what could possibly go wrong, right? I heard one beep. There's supposed to be two beeps. The first beep is supposed to be the terminal board initializing, and the second beep is supposed to be the CPU board initializing. I smell something not good. Well, it would seem that we have more issues that we need to deal with. Something's sort of working anyway. You ready? YOLO. We got 5 volts. We got 12 volts. Well, I also did not see any thing on the screen. We don't have any filament voltage on this one either. Oh goodness. Well, we have several things to troubleshoot then. I think I think the first order of business will be to remove everything but the terminal board and get it working as a terminal, and then slowly build it back up into an H89, possibly putting its guts into the Z19 if we have to, if we can't get video on this thing. Okie dokie, time to take it apart and document where everything comes from. So let's take out these expansion cards first. I don't know what this thing on top of this bracket is for. It's very strange. Maybe it can't be to provide strength to the case because there's nothing, you know, just I don't know. Maybe it makes electrical connection to the inside of the case. Maybe there's some kind of conductive paint or something in there. I don't know. Serial I/O. It has, get up here where you can see it. It has 3 8250Bs on it and 1488 and 1489 line drivers. Not much to it. There's a 74 LS74 right here and a 74 LS05. That doesn't seem like it would be enough logic to do the address decoding, but maybe the slots themselves are decoded. I don't know. This one I've already looked at. It is a floppy controller. Here's a dip connector. That's gonna be a pain in the ass to get out of there without fucking something up. Yes sirree. That's really something. Why, Heath, why would you do this to me? I thought we were friends. There we go. Oh, I didn't bend them too much. And that is a soft sector floppy controller card. Now these things have 48K on the main board, and then there's a 16K RAM expansion board over here, and that has different screws in this side. Perhaps I'm not the first yo-ho to be in here screwing around. And it has another dip ribbon cable on it. Oh, Heath, why do you do this to me? It just goes right there. Oh, I'll bet that steals some signals off of those RAM banks and puts it on the RAM card. That is hacky. That is hacky, you gentlemen at Benton Harbor. It is. Huh. Fascinating. Fascinating. 16K memory expansion, so that'll give it all 64 massive kilobytes. Let's take the CPU board out. This is power to the CPU board right here. Alright. I have a feeling that probably shouldn't be that loose. Are these keyed? Yes, very good. Oh, I see. This one, this is power for the terminal board. Yeah, okay, and then this is power for the video board. Or maybe that comes from over here somewhere. I shan't speculate. I shouldn't speculate. I'll just get myself in trouble. Let me take it apart here, and then we shall see. Alright, CPU board. Do I need to do anything else to get you out of there? There is another ribbon cable coming with it. and this connector here, which is not keyed. What is it? That is probably the serial signal from this thing to the terminal board. I'll bet you. And the black wire goes up when it's time to reassemble. Oh, and this is that's the funny business that went to, what was it, the disk controller? Z80 CPU. It is compatible with the H8, but it has a Z80 instead of an 8080. There is some rework right here. That's interesting. I shall have to look at the documentation and see if that is on purpose. Somebody has replaced a ROM at some point with something newer, it appears. Interesting. There's an 8250, so that is the serial signal to the terminal board. Huh. Very interesting. I guess if I had any sense, I would probably pull all of those RAM chips and test them, but not tonight. Not tonight. Now let's pull the terminal board, which is missing a screw. Fortunately, being that there was a Heathkit version of this, if I get confusificated, I'm sure I can get the Heathkit assembly manual to put it back together. There is a ribbon cable down here on the bottom that I'm going to try to unplug without fucking something up. There, it broke free. Must have been a little bit of corrosion on there. And that's going to be the speaker, I imagine. Yes, that's the speaker. So its polarity probably doesn't matter too much. Here's the terminal board. I don't know, I've probably got another video exploring the Z19, but the terminal boards between it and this are exactly the same. It has its own Z80 CPU on it and its own RAM. It's essentially a computer in its own right. It only does some partial address decoding, though. It's not using the whole like 64K address space, like without mirroring stuff here and there. But yeah, that's pretty neat there. It makes it pretty easy. I mean, compared to that DT1 with its 8051 in it, pretty easy to upgrade. There are some mods that you can do on these apparently to speed up the CPU and run them at like 19.2 and 38.5 and fast speeds like that and stuff. So that'll be interesting to fool with. Yeah, I don't know what this thing down here at the bottom is, though. I'll have to figure that out, I guess. Oh, that's the keyboard. That's got to be the keyboard. Dumb. Not even thinking. Alright, gentlemen, here we are again, another day in paradise. Let me zoom out here for a moment. Oop, wrong way. So, I put the boards back in because I couldn't get the terminal board to start. I was trying to run it separately to see if there was a horizontal sync signal, because the filament in the CRT gets its voltage off of the winding on the flyback transformer, and if there's no horizontal sync, I think it's horizontal sync, yeah, pretty sure, not vertical, but in any case, if there's no sync signal, then the filament voltage doesn't happen, and so I wanted to make sure that the terminal board was actually generating a horizontal sync signal. And here comes Mr. Beefy to help. I don't know if you should do that, buddy. It's exposed. Well, I guess there's no exposed top voltage. It'll be fine. But the 5-volt supply seems to have crapped out. I don't need your help right now, Mr. Beefy. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but yeah. Anyway, so I've tested. This is the AC harness that comes from the main transformer up there, and I'm seeing all of the correct voltages on it. And then there should be some AC voltages coming out of this thing, going through this rectifier bridge, this great big one, and then this smaller set of rectifier diodes down here, and then going up to these regulators, but I'm not seeing any DC on these regulators either, so I assume the issue is either these filter capacitors being purely resistive and screwing with things, or bad diodes here. I smelled something, and then I smelled nothing, so something has finished cooking, but I can't tell what. Perhaps it was these capacitors. I don't know. In the meantime, if you would like to join me for this grand adventure, or whatever you want to call it, clusterfuck perhaps, I have, oh, pardon me, I haven't had enough coffee yet this morning. I have a Discord server and a Matrix server. You can follow a link down there in the thing if you want to, and find a page that lists all of those things, and you can come and we can hang out and talk about old computers. It's out of control though, so expect spiciness, but that only makes things more exciting, right? Alright, I've got to get more coffee and have a breakfast beer and edit this video and then get back to this. Oh, so frustrating. I'm moving backwards instead of forwards now, so very frustrating. Well, gentlemen, I think I found the problem. Dumb. Yeah, yeah. Let me fix that right quick. I don't know if you can see this. Hey, Spider, what are you doing? I don't know if you can see this very well, but here's the broken connector over here. And there are more connectors here. There's a small one here and a big one here, and this one back here, and under the magnifying glass, all of that soldering on all of those connectors pretty much looks like ass to me. Those big filter capacitors, the soldering on them looks okay. These diodes up here look okay, but and this down here looks okay, except it looks like maybe the traces are maybe lifted a little bit. No, that's just a funny business with the solder mask, I guess. I'm gonna reflow all of those connectors. Okie dokie. Let's see if we can blow something up. My ground clip connected there. Can you see the meter? Barely. Alright, we got 5 volts there. That was the output of the regulator, I think. Yes, good. Let's see if we got 5 volts up here now. Yeah, there must be a big filter capacitor there that's discharging. Maybe I have a discharge resistor that's gone bad or something. Well, no, I guess that's fine. It is discharging. Okay, here we are again. The speaker's plugged in, right? Yes, okay. Say it with me, boys. YOLO. Oh, it smells terrible. Something's cooking down there somewhere on that video analog board, but we got a beep. We got a beep out of the terminal board. And whenever I turn this thing on, it shuts off the monitor over there. So there's some EMF coming off of this somewhere. Maybe it's just from the CRT, and once the cover's back on, it'll block that out. EMF, EMI. Duh. I know words. Sometimes I say them. Okay, I'm gonna take it back apart and see if I can now get it working with just the terminal board and not the CPU board, because it'll be a hell of a lot easier to probe that analog board if I can lay the terminal board down behind the thing without this little short-ass jumper keeping me from doing that, and have the CPU board out of the way. So Mr. Beefy wants pets, so I will get back to this once I have petted him up and had my breakfast beer. Actually, on second thought, I'm going to edit the video and post it, because this is a nice little one repair of the overall thing done. That's a good place to make a video stop. Okay, see you in the next one, gentlemen.